10 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a regular Commissioners Court meeting, County of Starr, Monday, January 25th. Thank you all for being here. Let the record show that we do have quorum, everyone being present. Everyone will please stand for the pledge of allegiance. And every republic one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public comments, Brenda?
None, Your Honor.
None? Okay, I guess we'll just go down our agenda. The first item that we have is approval of the vendors list, Mr. Perez.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. You should have a copy of the vendors list in front of you. There's about 6 new vendors. We're giving them, and we recommend they get approved. Motion to approve them.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is claims, Mr. Perez.
Again, you should have a copy of the claims in front of you. It's about 19 pages. We reviewed those claims and we recommend they be approved.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is an action item. It is to extend the declaration of the local disaster for public health emergency, and this is the one we move past every so often. Is that the
Morning,
same?
morning.
No.
Here's the declaration.
Okay, yeah, it's the same, right?
That is correct. It's just been extended to February 28th of 2021.
This is just to allow us to be able to tap into any funding that might be available.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the preliminary approval on Falcon Trails on 755 subdivision.
Seven.
I'm sorry.
Before one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Item 7 is to approve an action plan for emergency operations.
That is correct, Judge. This is a Starr County Emergency Operations Plan that is required by TDA, the state of Texas, and we need to always have a file here.
Is this still not saying that what we had before?
That is correct, Judge. It just expires every 5 years. So the expiration will be on January 28th of 2026.
Anybody want to read it? I have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Yeah, and that was, I don't know if y'all recall, about a year or two ago, the COG helped us to come up with that plan. Is it?
The COG helps with the hazard mitigation.
Okay,
This is still different.
okay, that one. All in favor, please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8 is also an action item, is preliminary approval on Falcon Trail, a 755 subdivision. And I believe you all have copies of the subdivision.
Where is this one?
I think it's in the
Enfrente de la high school nueva. Enfrente de la high school nueva, 755.
Sir, okay, well, I don't go with this, please. Yeah, before we have the final approval, and there's been some controversy over that, just every subdivision before it's approved for final approval is supposed to have the street lights on, the water meters that being paid for and installed, right? Well, they have to have the service connected line there, but the meter is supposed to have been already paid for, right?
Right, the water, they must have a contract with the water supplier. If it's a water supply, if it's a city, whoever, there's a contract that they must have, that they have paid for water rights, they have done all this stuff, and the water supply commits that they will service that area for 20 years.
That is correct, that's what I'm trying to say, that if they already have supposed to be paid
Yes.
the fees and everything.
Good. And the
Okay.
electricity is the same way. They need a contract with Medina or CPNL, and they must have paid for the
Because,
installation.
you know, the other developers came to me and those who approved before where they had not paid the fees for the water.
That's for the preliminary.
And they paid them after.
No, the final, and I think I know the one you're talking about, that's the one over there in your
Yeah,
area,
right.
right?
We
Yeah.
cannot accept it because
On that one, you know, what we need to do, I think Mando was still here,
Yes, sir.
and he said that everything was in place, they had
Yes, sir.
already paid.
It was recommended by the, Mr. Chapa engineer.
Yeah, no, but, another one.
That's
But I'll get with you later, because he got, said that all this had been paid, and supposedly it wasn't.
Okay, I'll
You
go
get
back
already
into
with
that and I'll have
the
everything.
mayor up there.
And I will discuss it,
Yes, sir.
it's not on the agenda, but I'll discuss it with you.
Yes, sir, okay.
This one is just a preliminary,
And also moving.
Second approved.
moved and second to approve, discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9 is an action item, and this is, to approve the Starr County investment policy for fiscal year 2021. Mr. Gonzalez, I guess is not here.
He's here.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
He's here outside.
Está por ahí.
Punto 45.
Porque trabajando en los CDs,
Bueno,
¿Cómo casi de
¿Qué quiere usted?
Se está pagando ahorita bien el Longstone.
Pues él no está.
Ya bajaron.
Ese es el que me está renovando. Digo, maybe we can negotiate to .50, pero no, estaba usted.
You know, and a few years back, they thought it was gonna go negative.
Nosotros pagarle cuando tengan el dinero que
But,
tienen.
Son 300 votos que tengo ahí. Y sí, que tres.
Okay, well, I do have a motion to approve and second. Oh, Mr. Gonzalez, we're on the item on the investment report.
Yes, sir.
The policy, any difference or any?
No, sir, they're all the same, everything as it was last year.
Okay, I do have a motion, a second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bless you.
Thank you. Item 10, I think this is also yours, Mr. Gonzalez.
Pero veo.
Sorry, guys.
Item 10 is also one of your items, and this is the action to approve the report for the first quarter of fiscal year. I think we have that one in our agenda.
It's supposed to be in the agenda and packet, yes.
Anything?
Everything is, Your Honor.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay. Okay, have a motion to approve and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Ahí venía, espérate, ahí venía también.
No, hombre,
Item 11 is also an action item. This is to collaborate with Human Resources and Treasurer to implement the electronic signature authorization form. Mr. Pettis, this is?
Yes, that's correct.
What's going on?
That's just so that we can, on the payroll checks that are not direct deposit, and they actually do checks, we're gonna have signatures on there, electronically generated.
Okay. Yeah, this will simplify the POs and all that for, is that?
This is just for the checks,
Oh, this is
just the
just for the
payroll
checks.
checks. Yeah,
Okay.
not the accounts payable or.
Okay, so you're gonna use electronic signatures now?
Just
instead
for
of
those,
actually-
just for those checks. Yeah, we do about 75 to 80 checks that are payroll checks every 2 weeks that are actual checks, not direct deposit. And we're just gonna simplify that by having an electronic signature, and we're gonna have a form that human resources will have to sign, we'll have to sign, and Mr. Gonzalez will have to sign.
I do move.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion? All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12 is also an action item, and this is the Criminal Justice Program Fiscal Year 22 grant application. Mr. Canales?
Yes, Your Honor. If we could take 12 to 13 and 14 together, Judge, they're actually very easy to explain. These are the grants that I've applied to that the court granted our separating accounts that just recently. One is for an investigator. The other is for a, actually number 13 is, the application is for two officers, school resource officers. These are for the applications themselves. This is not that they're granted, this is just merely to apply for it for the monies. The officer in number 12 is approximately, we're applying for the full amount, but every year it gets whittled down and we don't know the percentage of what we will receive on that. Number 13 is the application where we ask for two officers, and it's a 100% grant, including all fringes and all benefits. There is absolutely zero cost to the county. We make sure, work with the auditor's office to make sure to get those numbers so that we make sure that nothing is paid out by the county. Number 14, that's number 12 and number 13 is the authorizations to simply apply for those grants. Number 14, if they are to be awarded, we're asking for the acceptance by the county. They would not begin until next budget year, next October the 1st.
You don't have it in place right now?
Yes, we do. These will be continuing grants. They are in place already.
You have the officers already in place. They're on a grant too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have two. That's at this time it's Beto Garza and Angel. His last name again escapes me. And he's there. We're working with the school districts. He's actually reaching out to the school districts right now to try to get identify and meet with children that are not actually attending class through Zoom. It's actually quite difficult at the moment because of the not being in the actual classroom, but we're making headway on that.
Motion to approve 12, 13, and 14. Second.
Moved in second to approve 12, 13, and 14. Discussion?
I've got a question.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
One of them says September 1 to August 31st. Is one of them a little different on the fiscal year?
Yes, the grants, they change them around sometimes. They
The other
give us
one is
a lot of
October
different-
to
yes.
September. Okay.
Yes, sir. And that's Angel Posa. I'm sorry, that was the officer's name. I think you already called for the vote.
Okay, and that's item 13? Or,
12, 13, and 14.
Both of them say that.
okay.
One of them starts September 1st, the other one starts October 1st.
Okay. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Item 15 is to approve a resolution for Stone Garden.
Morning, Commissioner and County Judge. I did speak to the auditor. I don't know if this is one of the ones that we had a table or.
No, not that one.
So this is essentially the Stone Garden grant in order for us to have a proper budget. I know that the DA's office before didn't have a budget for a lot of these grants. So we're gonna try to work with the auditor's office so we can budget so that the county knows, so we can have more accountability within our grants.
Is this the same one? Because I know we've approved one Operation Stone Garden for the sheriff's office.
It's the same one, so essentially, the way it worked is that the money flows through the sheriff's department and into the other departments. So this is the share that we get from the sheriff's department. This coming next year, I know there was talks with the Border Patrol to change the way that they're gonna disperse it. I don't know if they're gonna be going through the sheriff's departments anymore, but that's a decision that the Border Patrol will have to do.
Okay, so why would we need another resolution if it's the same grant? we've already passed the resolution for it.
The only reason we're doing it, because it had never been done before, is I know in talking to the auditor's office, they requested if we can create budgets for all these different items, so we were just following instructions.
Okay.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second to approve, discussion? All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one, I guess it's the same thing, but this is for Haida.
Correct, Judge.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
These are actually the budgets, 16, 17, and 18.
Those were the ones that we had tabled.
Are, no, those were county attorney budgets. These are district attorney.
And I apologize, Judge, on the number 15, they did require a resolution for the deeds office specifically in order for them to be able to disperse the money to us. So that was a requirement the Border Patrol had been asking on number 15.
You know, and the reason I questioned it,
Sure.
Mr. Rivera, is that I know he dispersed money to the cities,
Correct.
and I don't know if they have passed the resolution to the cities or not. Maybe they should.
The ones that had advised us that it was necessary for us in order for us to get the funds was Border Patrol, so I'm sure if the cities are gonna be requesting, funds from them, they're more than likely gonna ask the same thing from them. This is something that the Border Patrol had requested on number 15.
Okay. Yeah.
So on 16, 17, and 18, those are for the budget. We would like to ask y'all to table those for the next one. For the next meeting, we need more time to review them so that they match. These are grants, so the budget needs to be just like the grant itself. And right now, they're a little bit different, so we need to do that.
Yeah, and I haven't seen this budget.
Yeah, we're not done with them, so we haven't.
Yeah, so I was gonna order that they be tabled.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to table
Which are 15?
No, 15, yeah, no.
16, 17, and 18?
Correct.
Are those moving?
Second, Your Honor. Table.
It's been moved and seconded to table, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 19 is also an action item, and this is to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement between Starr County and Rio Grande Valley Workforce.
Good morning, Judge, good morning, Commissioners. We're bringing this item to you because for the last few weeks under the direction of Judge Vera, we've been working with San Francisco Office of Workforce Solutions to help bring some immediate assistance to help with code enforcement and to help with sanitation and disinfection. They have a grant that they just received. We've been working through some issues with them. But essentially what that will allow us is to get 6 individuals to come in to help with contact tracing, with code enforcement, and with sanitation and disinfection. They will not cost the county any dollars. These are 100% paid by the grant, and these will be people that will be paid directly by Workforce Solutions. All they will do is report to a supervisor here in the judge's office or the county, and given instructions on what their role is going to be. I don't know, Judge, if you want to add a little to.
Yeah, you know, Rosa, and I certainly want to thank you and Workforce for the work that you all do. This is something that, like Rose mentioned, that we've been working on for a while. What the problem that we have right now in the county is that I pass an order, for example, for the governor, that we cannot have more than 50% capacity in a restaurant or whatever, but we don't have anyone to go out there and inspect and make sure that they're following the order. So these people will help us with doing that. The other thing is, if I have COVID, no one goes to talk to me to see who I've been in contact with, so that they can go and check them and make sure I didn't pass it on to them. So another group of people will be doing is that's contact tracing to see if we can get a better handle on COVID-19 and how it's spreading in our community. And like Rose mentioned, all this is paid by Workforce. So, I mean, it's in my opinion, a very good deal that we're getting. I want to thank you, Rose, and thank you.
Absolutely, Judge, and this is absolutely what this grant is geared towards, is trying to reduce the number of cases. They will also have the ability to They're being trained by South Texas College to do proper disinfecting and everything else. They can do it for public buildings for the county, or if we were to have an outbreak in a particular building or business, they can also be sent out as a group to do that. The schedule for them will be Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. They'll have a regular full-time job, but again, you know, there will be no cost to the county. They'll only get instructions from the county about what role they will have. And lastly, this is a grant that is funding this project for 3 to 4 months with an extension already asked to hope that we can get to the rest of the year.
That'd be great. Any questions? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second to approve, discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 20, 21, 22, and 23 are donations to precinct 3 and precinct 4. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Moved and second to approve, discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 24 through 33 are budget amendments, Mr. Pettis.
Yes, sir, if you'll note, item number 27 should be precinct 3, fire department. That's the fire department. And item 31, we did not receive an amendment to review, so that one will need to be tabled. The others were all good.
27, that's, what's lacking on 27?
The fire department.
It's a typo.
The other fire department on it.
It's within, they just put within department, but it's the fire department.
It's supposed to be fire department.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think, Judge, I don't think there will be an issue passing it like that, Judge. It's still in the same precinct, so it doesn't really, it's not material to the effect.
Yeah,
As long as
the
the-
only one we would need to.
The only difference is that it's general funding, not.
Yeah, if the motion would include that language, there's no problem with that.
Judge, and number 31 was submitted, but it was a budget correction, not an amendment.
Okay, well, it's wrong in the agenda, so I don't think we can take action.
No, that's fine, I mean, but it was submitted to Levy. It was submitted to Levy.
Okay, well, that needs to be corrected and.
Okay, then I'll just have Becky make that correction.
So if it's all right, well, I'll go ahead and ask that we approve all of them with the exception of 31, that we table 31. And which is the other one? Oh, item 27, that the motion also include that the approval is with the amended, adding fire department to the line item.
I don't know.
Second.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So all in passed except 31. 31 will table. You know what, I'll just oh no. Item 34 is a budget correction. Is that in there?
It's in order.
Motion to approve.
Falta 32, 33.
No, yeah. We got 34, I had a motion by Commissioner Sines. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pettis. Discussion? All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I believe that's it. No? It is now 10:35. I'm sorry? 10:25. And pursuant to section 551.074 and 551.071, we will go into executive session to discuss worker salaries and to discuss possible legal counseling on the electioneering policy.